Hello, this is Michael Silva. In this episode, we are going to talk about the equipment, software, and tools most commonly needed by the independent security consultant. Most new security consultants will probably choose to work from home, particularly at the start of their practice. It will be necessary to provide equipment for your home office. Many consultants who are starting an office at home may already have some or all of the equipment necessary. Each person will have their own personal preferences when it comes to equipment. The important thing is to have all the items necessary to allow you to work comfortably and productively. Here are the minimum items that are typically needed in the office of a security management consultant or forensic security consultant. Many consultants use a desktop computer as their primary computer. A laptop computer with a docking station can also be used. The advantage of a laptop is that you can simply take it with you when you're on the road. If your primary computer is a desktop, then you will probably want to purchase a separate laptop computer to use when you're traveling. A second or third video monitor is optional, but highly recommended. I find these useful when it is necessary to have several screens open when preparing a report. Technical security consultants who work with full-size drawings may also have a need for items such as a plotter, a drafting table, and drawing storage racks. Cybersecurity consultants may also have the need for specialized test equipment related to their work. Security. Because of the sensitive client information that security consultants work with, they should equip their home office with the same type of security measures that they would recommend for their clients that face a similar level of security risk. Ironically, many security consultants don't take their own security seriously and often have conditions at their home office that they would severely criticize if they were conducting a security assessment for a client. This is one case where you should definitely practice what you preach. Business software. Most of the work created by the independent security consultant will be done on a computer using software of various types. When starting your consulting business, it will be necessary to make sure that you have all of the software that is needed. Here are the common types of software typically used by a security consultant. In each category of software, there is usually one brand name product that is considered to be the industry standard. For example, in the word processing category, Microsoft Word is considered to be the standard. There are then usually one or more alternative products that are available for free or at a much lower cost. For example, Google Docs is a cloud-based program that provides most of the functionality of Word and is available for free. Similarly, Paint.net provides most of the basic functions that Photoshop does, but can be downloaded at no charge. The decision to use brand name software or less expensive alternatives depends on your circumstances. If you already have gained proficiency using a particular brand of software at your previous job, it may be easier to continue to use that same brand of software in your consulting practice. Also, if there is a need for you to work collaboratively on documents with other consultants or your clients, it can be advantageous to use the same brand of software that they are using. Some consultants choose to use cloud-based storage services such as Dropbox, Google Drive, and OneDrive to automatically back up their data and to synchronize files between their desktop and laptop computers. These services always keep your data backed up and eliminate the need to manually transfer files between computers. Some consultants have major security concerns about using cloud-based services. These consultants often choose to use non-cloud-based apps, use local storage devices to back up their files, and use a peer-to-peer file synchronization program to keep their laptop and desktop synchronized. Consultant tools. There are various special tools and equipment that the independent security consultant may need depending on their area of practice. Here are some commonly used items. Digital cameras. Digital cameras are used to take photos for reference purposes and for inclusion in your reports. I actually suggest the use of two cameras. an inexpensive one that you can carry with you at all times and not worry about getting wet or dirty, and a higher quality camera that you can use to take special photos when you need to use an extended zoom lens or when obtaining an extra high quality photo is important. One or more high-capacity memory cards should be provided for each camera. Extra camera batteries should also be provided. Camcorders. Camcorders are used to create full-motion video recordings. When conducting a security assessment, I find it helpful to do a complete walk-around of the site with my camcorder running. This allows me to go back and virtually revisit the site, which can be extremely valuable, especially when the project is located hundreds of miles away. Some consultants also use camcorders to record meetings and to create presentations and training videos. Digital voice recorders are used to record meetings, interview sessions, and telephone calls. When doing a security assessment, I try to record all of my interview sessions. Before writing my report, I will typically go back and listen to my recordings to make sure that I have correctly gathered all information. A method should be provided to allow you to record telephone calls. This can be done several ways depending on the type of phone you are using. If you are using a landline phone, there are adapters that can be connected between the telephone line and your digital voice recorder. If you are using a cell phone, you can simply place your phone on the desk and put it in speakerphone mode and then turn on your recorder. If you prefer not to use speakerphone mode, there are special earpiece microphones that can be connected to your voice recorder. These are placed between your ear and the phone when you are having a conversation. There are also smartphone apps that allow calls to be recorded. When using a service such as Google Voice, the app includes a feature that allows calls to be recorded using the app itself. Be sure to get permission from all parties involved prior to recording their conversations. When using my recorder, I always start the recorder and make an announcement saying, if there are no objections, I will be recording this meeting to be sure that I have accurately captured all information. I rarely get an objection, and I have a recorded confirmation that I announced that the conversation was being recorded. Light meter. Light meters are used to check lighting levels when conducting security assessments or when designing video surveillance systems for outdoor areas. While once quite expensive, light meters are now available at a much lower cost, some for well under $100. The light level that you choose should allow the display of light levels in both foot candles and lux. The light meter should have multiple ranges and allow the reading of light levels as low as 0.1 lux. The light meter should have the ability to accurately measure all types of visible light, including that produced by LED light fixtures. It is recommended that the light meter have a backlighted display that allows it to be read in the dark. Some light meters are available that are calibrated to National Institutes of Standards and Technology (NIST) standards and include a certificate to prove it. This type of certification is not required for most general security consulting work, but may be needed for certain forensic cases where the accuracy of light readings may be challenged by the opposing counsel. It is recommended that your light meter allow the use of a standard photographic tripod, and that a tripod be purchased for use when taking light readings. I have found that taking light readings with a tripod is much easier, particularly when working alone. Measuring devices. When making a site survey for a security assessment or a security design project, there is often a need to take accurate measurements of distances. It is recommended that the consultant's toolkit include a 25-foot tape measure, a 100-foot tape measure, and a 1,000-foot measuring wheel. I also use an electronic tape measure, which can make taking accurate measurements much easier in many situations. However, I have found that electronic tape measures don't work well in every case, particularly when taking measurements outdoors in bright light. This often requires me to revert to using a standard tape measure. Miscellaneous items that can be handy in the consultant's toolbox include a flashlight, magnifying glass, and clipboard. Smartphones. Smartphones can be used as a substitute for many of the individual tools that we just discussed. For example, most smartphones now include a camera that can take good quality pictures and videos, and most phones have an app that allows them to make audio recordings. There are even apps that allow you to use your smartphone as a light meter. However, I have heard reports that these are not nearly as accurate as a standalone light meter. To get better accuracy, you can get an external device such as the Luma Power 2 sensor that plugs into your smartphone. But these devices can cost as much or more than a good light meter. I personally use a combination of both my smartphone and other devices in my work. For example, I prefer to use a separate camera for most of my still pictures, but use my phone to take videos in place of the camcorder that I previously used. I also continue to use a separate digital audio recorder and a separate light meter. You may find that in your case, a smartphone meets all of your needs just fine.